This is the warm-up series, starting off with a nice and easy forward jog and backwards jog. This is anywhere between 30 to 50%. Ideally, you want to do about 20 yards. Here, I'm only doing about 10 because that's the amount of space that I got. Work anywhere between 10 yards and 20 yards. Next up, we have the kickback hip extensions. As you can see, I'm driving my legs back, leading with the heel. I'm trying to push the heel as far back as I can, pretending that I'm going to kick something straight right behind me, and then I let the leg follow. As you can see, this exercise is a squeezing of the glute and extension of the hip flexors, the front part of your hip. Notice how I'm not bending over to try to reach as far back as I can. I'm trying to stand up nice and tall. Once you're ready to progress from the walking kickback hip extensions, you're ready to do it as a run. You can start off with 50%, make it up to 70%, and then finally 80% of your speed in that same kickback direction. You're always going to do the walking ones followed by the running ones. Walking lunges to stabilization. Key points here. Do not let your knees pass your toes, and you also want to keep your chest up nice and high. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your core to keep your center of gravity straight down. Don't let your upper body go lean too forward nor too far back. And as you can see, the arms are opposite to the leg to hold that stabilization on a single leg. Alternating walking flamingos consist of the opposite hand to the opposite ankle, and you push your hip right through. You also want to extend the hand that's not grabbing the ankle as far up as you can so you can actually get full extension and full stretch of that hip area and also of your core. Also very important, do not overdo the stretch. Just let to where your body's range of motion allows you to feel the stretch. Karaoke's to high knees. As you can see, the back leg as it's coming to the front, you do a high knee across your body. Use your arm movements like if you were running to kind of help with the motion, but the most important part is that you drive that back leg across your body while doing these. Lunge to stabilization and crossover is you're basically stretching both inner thighs, you're coming to a stabilization, crossing over, and then continuing on to another side lunge. Observe how I keep my body as straight as can be throughout the whole movement. I'm really focusing on sitting back as I'm doing the side lunges. I'm going to demonstrate here on a side view so that you can see. Here comes the first one as I'm lunging, butt comes back. Observe how my lumbar area stays straight all the way up my spine towards my neck. Sit back, switch to the side, sit back, and then stabilize. The walking hamstring kicks, I'm focusing on two areas to keep as straight as possible. Those are my knees and also my spine. Everything from my lumbar area up stays nice and straight, and my knees stay nice and straight. My upper body does not go to meet my foot. I actually let my foot meet my hand. Do not sacrifice bending the knees or leaning forward to touch your toes. Also, you can go at an alternate angle, which you're getting more of the piriformis side now and the glute medius. These are going to be the heel walks, and the purpose of these is to basically kind of activate our tibia. That's our muscles that are in front of our shins to kind of help strengthen those out to prevent some shin splints. And then we transition over to toe walks to activate our calf muscles.
All right, so starting off with the hip series, we're going to start with fire hydrants. You're going to raise one knee laterally as far as you can go. Do not twist your hip to try to get the knee higher. Just as high as your knee can go, and just hold it there for 1 second. Next up, we have knee circles. So it's going to be a knee circle forward. You're going to drive the knee forward, bring it out, do a clockwise rotation, bring the knee back in, and continue following through. Again, don't adjust hip to get the range of the knee. Just let your body have its range of motion and work within there. This is supposed to activate your hips, your glutes. Once you get a certain amount of those, we're going to do a reverse knee circle. As you start your knee circle on the way back, come around in a counterclockwise motion and finish your knee circle there. You're going to repeat those on both sides. And then finally, we have the straight out leg extension. You're going to bring your leg out completely as far as you can to the side without bending the knee. As straight as you can keep that knee, and you're going to bring it right back. When you bring it back, make sure you squeeze the glute right here. So it looks something like this. Do not let go of your core and start hunching over to try to get this out very far. Remember, if your body only lets you till here, this is where you're gonna stop. If your body lets you till here, that's where you stop. So these are the supine laying exercises. What we want to make sure first is that our back is nice and squeezed. We want to have just a tiny bit of an arc down here. You don't want to completely touch the mat. You want to have a little bit of an arc. If your hand goes fully under there, it's too much of an arc. And what you do is you just squeeze your belly button into the floor, just to have a tiny little arc. The first one we're going to do is we're going to stretch out one leg. You can have your hands here on the side. We're going to stretch out one leg, keeping it facing looking up, and we're going to stretch the hamstring as far as it can go. You want to keep this as straight as it can be. If you're starting to see that in order for you to come back, you need to bend, you're going too far. So if your body only lets you till here, this is how far you're going to take it, and it looks like this. Following that, we're going to do the knee hug hamstring extension. So we're going to hug our knee kind of towards the chest, and we are going to just extend our leg up as much as you can. Again, trying to straighten out the knee as much as possible. And then finally, what we're going to do, come around this side, we're going to do an angle. So we're going to touch our heel to the knee, still hugging here, angle to the knee, and we're going to extend going this way. So before we were extending laterally, now we're extending diagonally, just like this. So heel to knee. So total heel is going to be the first one. You want to make sure your body is as straight as possible. If you're curved, this is not going to activate your glutes very properly. So you want to make sure you're nice and straight. Squeeze that core, squeeze that glute. Look at how my toes are pointing to my heel. Okay, so I'm pointing here. Now that I'm squeezing both of my glutes, I'm going to raise my heel just a little bit. It doesn't have to be very high, just a tiny little bit until you feel it's activating right here. So this one you're doing toe to heel. You're gonna do that for a certain amount of times. And then you're gonna go toe behind the heel. And now you're still gonna activate your glute just in a different part, a different area. And it's a little bit more of an activation on this one. The next one, we're going to do adductor lifts, which you're going to bring that foot that you were using to raise from your heel. Again, straighten out your body, hold it with one hand, and you can use this arm to kind of create some stability, keeping your body straight. You're now going to raise the laying foot up using this muscle that's called your adductor. All right, you're going to hold it there for about a second, and then bring it right back down. Always maintaining your body as straight as you can. And as you can see, it's not much of a lift, it's just enough to activate. These are gonna be the raised leg hip rotations. So you're gonna have one leg up, and you're basically going to use your arms here on the side to create stability. You're gonna drop down to the side as much as you can. If you can't go this far, it's okay. If you can only go this far, that's fine. You drop down, you bring it up, and you bring the leg back, you bring it up, and then you come out to the other side. If you want, take your time, go up and rotate, come back to the initial point. Or you can go a little, once you get a hang of it, you can go a little fast. This is a good stretch for your glutes.